abortion from a factual and biblical standpoint. I will be telling you what abortion is, whether or not God considers it murder, and what the Bible has to say about it. I hope that I can provide facts and help you to decide for yourself what you think about abortion and if it's wrong or not. There has been much conflict regarding abortion around the world and in the United States. People are fighting for life while others are fighting for choice. The debate over abortion is one of the biggest causes of division among people because life and death is a serious problem. Many people pose the argument of saying abortion isn't murder, but there are clear facts in the Bible and in the world that prove this to be wrong. Most often used for unplanned pregnancies, abortion is the deliberate termination of a human pregnancy, most often performed during the first 28 weeks. The goal of an abortion is so that the woman that is pregnant doesn't give birth to the child. Instead, the child is aborted. There are two types of abortions, the pill and the procedure. The pill is believed to feel more natural, and the procedure is always done by a licensed healthcare professional. In the procedure, the child is either vacuumed out of the uterus or pulled out by a pair of medical tweezers. Not a pretty operation. Most abortions take place because of people's inability to have self-control. Like any operation, an abortion has risks. The risks that can come with an abortion are infections, excessive bleeding, and the leftover tissue, the undeveloped baby, still in the uterus. Now that we know what abortion is, let's talk about life. I think we can all tell what life is and when it starts. Life starts at conception, and the moment the child is conceived, it is a living and developing human. The DNA of this life form is human and has distinct traits from each parent. DNA is God-given, unique for each human, and is the blueprint for life. Although the baby might start off by looking like a minuscule dot, it grows to be a human. In the ESV translation of the Bible, Psalms 139:13 says, "For you formed my inward parts. You knitted me together in my mother's womb." God himself breathed the breath of life into us, and he gave us this beautiful gift. Genesis 2:7 says, "And the Lord God formed man of the dust of the ground and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living soul." And Job 33:4 says, "The Spirit of God hath made me, and the breath of the Almighty hath given me life." Some things that can help distinguish if a human is alive or not is if they're breathing and if there's a heartbeat. And babies in the womb have a heartbeat. It might start off looking small, but it's growing to be a baby. For instance, when you grow a rose, you don't plant the seeds and tell yourself, "This isn't a rose until I see the whole flower." You know it's a rose through all the stages to get to the final product. The people that are pushing to let these babies be murdered went through these same exact stages in the womb, but they're saying the babies aren't alive yet. Murder is very self-explanatory, but is abortion considered murder? First, let's figure out what murder means. According to the Merriam-Webster Dictionary, murder is the unlawful, premeditated killing of one human being by another. Unlawful means illegal or not recognized by laws. And since abortion has been legalized in the US, abortion isn't considered breaking the law, but that doesn't make it anything short of murder. The baby is alive in the womb, as we already discussed, and when the doctors kill it, it's murder. According to the CDC, in 2016, 623,471 abortions took place. That's 623,471 babies that died that had no say in the matter. Some people try to say that a baby can't feel it when they're being aborted, but this statement is extremely false. In Chapter 2 of the book, Life and Death Decisions, a pro-choice nurse sat in on an abortion for a late-term fetus, almost a full-grown baby. She states, "The baby's little fingers were clasping and unclasping, and his feet were kicking. Then the doctor struck the scissors through the back of his head, and the baby's arms jerked out in a flinch. A startled reaction, like a baby does when he thinks he might fall. Then the doctor opened up the scissors, stuck a high-powered suction tube into the opening, and sucked the baby's brains out. Now the baby was completely limp. The nurse said that she was completely unprepared for what happened and almost threw up as she saw the doctors do these things. That sure sounds like murder to me, and the baby can definitely feel it." Psalm 16 states that God hates hands that shed innocent blood. And what's more innocent than a baby? Babies are pure, beautiful humans, and God has a plan for their lives. The doctors that kill these babies and everyone involved are responsible for these innocent lives. Also, one of the 10 commandments is thou shalt not murder. God is completely against murder, and we should be too. Murder is sin. God is the giver of life, and we don't have the right to take that from anyone. Some people try to say that abortion is healthcare, but what does healthcare mean? According to the Merriam-Webster Dictionary, healthcare is the efforts made to maintain or restore physical, mental, or emotional well-being, especially by trained and licensed healthcare professionals. Nowhere in that definition does it say that murder is healthcare. And Leah Hickman states in her article, any procedure for which a successful outcome depends on the death of a living human being, born or unborn, cannot be considered healthcare. Some people try to lighten the sound of abortion and say it's simply removing tissue from the uterus, while in truth, it's sucking, cutting, or burning the child out of the womb. Because of our Christian beliefs, we should automatically be against abortion and anything that has to do with it. If we know and study the Bible, we'll know where to stand for pro-life versus pro-choice. Pro-life and pro-choice are terms that are used to describe where a person stands on abortion. Pro-life is against abortion, against murder, while pro-choice is for abortion and for the rights for a woman to be able to choose. There has been a big split in people believing in one or the other. Abortion stops a beating heart is a pro-life term saying exactly what abortion does. It's very clear in the Bible that God is pro-life and he wants his precious creations to live and serve him. I personally do not think that a pro-lifer should ever vote for a pro-choice politician. Some people try to say that abortion is the best option for a situation. They give the argument that if a woman got raped and became pregnant, that she'd have to live with that baby for 9 months. They say abortion is the more loving option. It's not the baby's fault, and the child should not be killed because of the horrible sin that was committed. But as a matter of fact, just 1% of women obtain an abortion because they become pregnant through rape, and less than 0.5% do so because of incest. According to Guttmacher Institute, another 3% of abortions happen because of health problems. This means that roughly 95% of abortions that take place have nothing to do with rape, incest, or health issues. Some pro-choice women make the claim, my body, my choice. And this is true to an extent, but the father should always have a say in the matter whether the baby is killed or not. And on top of this, the baby is its own body that's alive. So this claim is invalid when used for the pro-choice fight. Many nurses that work in these abortion clinics haven't actually seen an abortion themselves, and they'd be terrified if they did. The movie Unplanned is a great example of this. Unplanned is based on a true story of Abby Johnson, who was the director of a Planned Parenthood clinic in Texas. Abby worked in the clinic for many years and was strong on pro-choice. She was recruited in college and believed the lies that it was just a clump of tissue being removed. She was helping murder these babies without even knowing it, and she became the spokesperson for Planned Parenthood. One day, she was called in for backup on a late-term abortion, almost a full-grown baby. As soon as she saw one for herself, she immediately quit and she became pro-life. This led her to be one of the most well-known pro-life speakers in the country. I definitely recommend this movie to anyone who wants to get a better view on abortion and Planned Parenthood. In 1973, Roe v. Wade was a decision passed by the Supreme Court that legalized abortion in all 50 states of the U.S. This caused a celebration for pro-choicers and an uproar for pro-lifers. Since then, abortion has been legal, but it's still illegal in God's eyes, as it should be in everyone's. Hopefully, in the future, there will be a change to this decision, but we ourselves can know that abortion is murder. This fact is not only based on religion, but science. As previously stated, abortion, which is mostly done out of convenience, is the terminating of a pregnancy, killing the baby. It stops the beating heart of the child developing in the mother's womb. I hope I helped to inform you all a little more about abortion, and I hope after hearing this, you've come to the same conclusion that I have, that abortion is wrong in the sight of God according to his word. It doesn't matter what people say and what laws are passed. Murder is sin, and God will judge those who murder these babies without remorse. I encourage you to do your own research and look more into this topic to further your understanding of the subject. Thank you.